So I was taking advantage of him still sleeping at the moment, getting some extra sleep going on. So I just wanted to jump in here, and basically yesterday we talked about taking thought-provoking questions. I showed you one of my clients that had a post that did really well. There was another post that she did. Actually, I should open it and show you guys some of these things. So just while I'm winging this, because that's my style, that's not it. Check out my work. So this in here is going to show you some of like the response rates that I've gotten on different posts that I've done. Like this is the one we looked at yesterday. I even went into explain to my like whoever's looking at my samples here. I don't do well with like typical portfolios. I've gone almost 4 years now without having a portfolio, and finally put this together, and it's still not quite the way I want it. But basically, when this post happened on January 22nd, she had 1,001 group members. Within the next few days, her group increased 100 to 165 new members, primarily because of that post. It was a great like networking, a great outreach. It really like put her out there. She was able to kind of share her information without it being like a total, oh, I'm trying to sell to you or anything like that. Because I know we all hate coming off salesy. Even when there is a pitch underneath what we're doing, we don't always want it to be so obvious. I know I don't anyways. I can see it when I get a message. Like here's a prime example yesterday. I would show you, but I don't like to like, I don't want to blast anybody. There was a DM that I got, and I thought we were having a great conversation. I was like, oh, great, another female entrepreneur to connect with. This is beautiful. She talked about wanting to collaborate, and I was like, yeah, let's get on a call. Like, totally, send me your calendar link. Send it to me. My confirmation came from a gentleman's name about setting up my alignment call. And I was like, that's not what this was for. That's not what this was about. That's not what this was meant for. It was very misleading, so I canceled it. And then it was like, why are you canceling? And I was like, well, I was supposed to be meeting with Susie Q, and I got Paul instead. Like, that's just, to me, that's very misleading, and it comes off disingenuine, and it really goes against, like, me being authentic and organic, and that's what I'm about. So, just going to check and see if anyone's here on the live. Since I am screen sharing, and the way that I'm screen sharing, I can't see my screen on the computer right now to know that I've got viewers or anything of the sort. So I'm just gonna, you probably heard myself talking in the background. So it doesn't look like I have anyone on with me this morning, but that's okay. Just gonna give it a few moments just to make sure. Let's see here. No, we don't want any of that. Look, now you guys are seeing how I'm sharing in here. Let's see. I've already shared to that one. And see, I don't really like sharing to like these kind of things. I don't know what's in there and who's doing what. So I'm just going to keep talking. Hopefully if you catch the replay that this will be beneficial for you. I do have some questions that I can go over as well. So that's really going to help us all here. So what I'd like to discuss is yesterday I showed you the client's one, which was this one right here that we looked at. And so it just kind of explained to my clients like what this does for them, how it's a simple way to have a conversation starter. Here is one that was huge. If you see this right here, it says 407 comments, 63 reactions. And I just kind of explained to people that when you're posting these engaging non-self-promotional posts in these other groups, it's going to allow for you to expand your audience base because you're not friends with everybody that's in that group. Just because you guys have this group in common doesn't mean that we have any mutual friends that we've ever connected or anything. So when you put yourself out there in the groups, it really, really helps. And actually this even, if you'd like a copy of this link, check the post. I included my link tree. Just click on my sample work, see my work or something like that. This really goes over a lot of like the aspects of everything. And I even have like details of this kind of stuff. It's got other ones, but I know down here I had another like, oh, here it is. This was another client that I worked with for a period of time. And like she had 24 comments on this. It was extremely engaging. It was really a really nice thing to see. So let's just jump in then. So yesterday, I think I posted this in like 20 groups. What I was doing is normally I don't post in that many groups on the same day. Not with something like this. I might do like 5 or so groups with this question on that like Monday. And then on a couple like other groups that day, I might share like a valuable post. And I kind of try to like rotate it throughout the week. And I make sure I take time to, really, let's see. I want to go and back and answer on these posts. I want to go back and engage in these same groups where my post is. I have a great post that I can share with you guys also in the feed after this is I have some ones where it talks about like don't post and ghost. Don't put your post up, get all these comments and not respond. Or don't post and then this is something I see all the time. Someone will post something, it doesn't get any comments, so they don't engage. I take this as an opportunity to go, ooh, light bulb moment. Let me add a PS or I forgot this or something extra that like adds additional value to the post because now it's going to comment it. It's going to kind of re-trigger that post to circulate back up to the top of the feed. I'm sure you guys have seen it in like some of the other community groups where like I know I see it locally all the time, like the yard sale groups where they're like someone will come in and just put like a period and it like boost the post back up to the top, or they'll be like bump, that kind of thing, just because they're trying to get it to keep circulating and not be like bombarded down into the feed so much. So something I like to do though with that is I will go back and I usually have like an example for them to read, or like this is how I do it, or I forgot to mention this, and I can even probably find one of my posts to show you guys that I've done that on. But this one yesterday, it's still starting to get comments. It's still getting approved in certain groups. So I don't have a huge response. Like you're not going to see 28 comments on anything. I think I have one that's got like 10 comments on there. But I will say that it is something that is super helpful. It's really nice to have, and this is how I like to engage. Sorry, someone had messaged that they were trying to find the live, they can't find it, so I sent the link. So I'm sorry about that. But basically, let me just kind of get this so that everyone can see everything. All right. So basically, I put up this question, which is a question I've asked in here. It's a question that is related to stuff that I can, without trying, without being scripted, without having to save any little notes and copy and paste my responses so that I sound the same on everything, because that's not my style. Like I might save up how I worded something, but I try to make sure that like when I go back to engage, it is very genuine and it's very me. Like if you have my emails, if you're on my email list, I hear it all the time that reading my emails is like having a conversation with me. So I really try to show up that way wherever I can, whenever I can. Not working in a 9-to-5 world, it makes it really doable to be yourself without having to worry about what's my manager going to think or what's my coworker going to think. I don't have that anymore. And that's one thing that's so beautiful about this journey. So I went ahead and said, what has been your biggest barrier to social media and your success? What areas are challenging you? And I just kind of want to go over how this worked for me. Sonia yesterday did great on her live. She was having trouble getting it to share in my group, so it's in the event, and so it's actually on my group. But check it out. The replay is always going to be there available. Now, Natalie Cook, I don't know her. We're not Facebook friends, I don't believe. Nope, we're not. So I come in here and I see, oh, she's a cultivating calm expert at Mama Matters. That's beautiful. For one, that's already kind of starting to figure out she's potentially in my niche. For me, I work with more spiritually based businesses, but when I was doing like high-powered creatives, she would be my jam. Not to say she's not now. This is just like more of an example. So she basically came out and said, feeling like I'm showing up mostly to an empty auditorium, which I know right now I can say that I understand how that feels. I've totally been there. I've totally had those moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, how come this isn't getting seen? I'm actually currently struggling with that on Instagram. My stories, for some reason, I've got great followers, great engagement for the most part. I engage really well, but my stories don't get seen, and I just don't get it. So that's something I'm working through. So I completely can resonate with this person. They feel like it's an act of service for those who do pay attention. I get that. I hear that so much. I feel that because sometimes there's been, it's a bittersweet thing because I don't so much get like the engagement from people that feel obligated anymore, but I also feel like I have people in my life that I'm like, you saw my post that didn't have any comments, like you could have supported me a bit, mom or whoever. Like I'm sure we can all resonate there. Not that like my mom's going to buy anything from me, but sometimes it's nice just to have somebody there to help encourage the post. So basically she said, I don't feel like it's moving my business forward. The whole spaghetti at the wall, I completely get it. So basically how I wanted to approach this with her is that I went to her page. I looked at her page and I was like, right here, I could tell what she does. When I went to her page, I could tell what she does, but it didn't look like it was her content because she was sharing from her business page, which sometimes, yes, I share from my business page, but I make sure that I also share directly to my personal page some of my posts, especially now with like the reels and stuff like that. It's a great resource to use. So, that was just, I really, she's got some questions. I'm offering value. So I wanted to just kind of jump in and give her like, not coaching, but some tidbits, some feedback, some like options. Maybe these things will inspire her to be able to implement some things differently than what she's doing. So not sure how well you can read this on your screen. So I'm just going to kind of go off of what I said. So something I noticed right away when I jumped on your profile is that you're not posting content directly to your page, but you're sharing it from your page instead. I don't know why, but I know even for myself when I do this, it doesn't usually get the engagement that I want. Further on that, and this is something I'm going to stress to you, and this is why I talk about posting in groups so much, is I don't get great engagement unless I'm posting in groups. I can take the same question, put it on my page, and get probably a good amount of likes, but like the actual comments don't seem to happen. However, I take this and I go into a group, I get 10 comments or 8 comments or 2 comments. And that's one reason it's super beneficial to make sure that you're posting across a broad range of groups. You don't want to limit yourself too much because maybe that day people aren't noticing that group in their feed. Maybe the algorithm isn't grabbing that group so much because not as much activity is going on there. Or maybe it's not matching your audience enough because Facebook does know a little bit about who and what you like. So, for example, side note, I was talking about quizzes the other day, and now I keep seeing ads for quizzes. So we all know it listens. It hears us. It has psychic-like abilities. Sometimes you feel like it's listening to you right then and there. So basically, I said my same post that will go on my Instagram, for instance, will also go onto my business page and even my personal page. Now, I do try to mix it up. I try to change some things. I try to either elaborate more on Facebook since it has a lot more opportunity to write longer posts. I try to sometimes switch up the graphic or the image that I'm using. But I definitely repurpose a lot of it because it's just how I handle my content. However, I am trying, and something that is like my goal for the rest of the year is to have a little bit of, how do I want to say it? Like mixture of my posts, like what you get on Instagram. Maybe you get one extra piece of content that you don't get if you see on my Facebook. The same with my group. I'm trying to make sure that there's like different values so that you have the reasons to follow me everywhere. So basically, I kind of went over that with her. I mentioned that I get a lot of low views in my engagement when they're not in groups. Facebook loves groups. They really, really do it. The algorithm really enjoys the groups right now. I have a whole post about that. If you're interested in it, let me know and I'll drop the link to the post in the comments. But basically, I was just letting her know like some feedback. I was letting her know that by going into these groups, and that's what Facebook likes, it's going to help the algorithm, in turn is going to help bring more awareness to her. That this is like a popular conversation. The algorithm starts seeing that this, like for instance, this post here was getting more attention because conversation was happening, and it wasn't just, oh, I love this, or good morning, beautiful. It was genuine conversation, and there was a lot of going back and forth with it. And it's not done. Like, I've had some of these questions that I post in groups. If you post enough, if I post them all on Monday, for instance, like say I posted in like 50 groups on Monday, like let's just be a little extreme. Say I post this all over the place. By Friday, I've had new connections. I've had posts in groups that have 4, 5, 10 new connections that are genuine, that are more aligned with who my audience is. I can have them in my audience and start nurturing that process to find out, is this my dream client or is this someone else that I know's dream client? Can I connect them with someone? So I really love connecting people. So it's one of those things, like if I know that this is your specialty or your cup of tea, I'll tag you when I see something. Or if I'm like, you know what, no, that's not my expertise, or that's not what I do anymore, that's not where I focus, but I have someone I can suggest to you and connect you with. That's something I love doing. And I'm sure that kind of comes into why I love sharing value like this. So I let her know that when she does comments with 4 or more words, that she's triggering that algorithm. And let's see. So I explained the 4 more words, which I think I mentioned on day 1 and possibly even yesterday. But basically, there is a little algorithm hack that when you first post, whether it's in a group, whether it's on your page, whether it's on your business page, in the first 30 minutes, this is like your hot seat time. This is when you want to try and get 10 comments with 4 or more words. 4 or more words, not just emojis, not GIFs, not good morning, darlings, or stuff like that, like genuine posts. So I was letting her know that this like helps it start trending, which will push those posts to your friends' feeds. So when it starts trending, what it does is in your Facebook feed, like if I go to my Facebook page right here, of course it's going to take a second. Oh, not this part. Your actual feed is what I want to look at. Let's see. Catch up with me, Facebook. By the way, how do we feel about this new Facebook umbrella name? Like that the whole Facebook is now owned under the umbrella company of Meta, I think. Metaverse, I think is how they're referring to it. It's kind of intriguing. Not quite sure how I feel. Not quite sure what this means for future, of how this is going to play into what I do, but it looks like it's supposed to be really supportive of like the virtual space. So I'm excited, I think, dare I say. But for instance, now when I'm seeing posts on my feed, these are posts that, like this post got posted an hour ago, but it's got 34 reactions, it's got 4 comments, but see, and I wasn't trying to like do any coaching on this. This is just says very pretty. That's not great engagement. Don't do that. If you don't have much to say but you are trying to engage, find an affirmation, find a quote, find a question that you can come back with. Like even these well said right there with you. I'm going to come back into this and I'm going to be like, so how does that make you feel? Let me come up with some kind of thought-provoking question to keep engaging in this comment. And this helps me not come off into the DMs immediately. So I really, really hope that that's helpful. But basically, you start seeing stuff that are in groups more often. You can see that like here in my group section, I will have like some new posts. Oh my goodness, this is taking so long. All right, scratch that. We're not gonna show you that part right now since it's freezing up. I want to keep this momentum going, especially before my toddler comes out here again like yesterday. So I haven't read her response yet. Thanks so much for your feedback. I have a lot of resistance to all of this posting from a privacy perspective. Totally understand. When I first came into my entrepreneurial journey, I was like, I have to use my personal page. Like that's what my business page is for. Are you kidding me? But it does. It matters, especially when you're utilizing groups to make connections, because when I come here and hover my mouse here, it doesn't show me your business page. It doesn't tell me anything about your business page. I can see right here that I can click on that, but who does that? I know me, I click here, and most people don't even hover. Most people just go straight to their page, and if you go to that page and it doesn't look like it's what they're representing themselves as on these groups, it's going to make you question it. It's going to make you question their authenticity. It's going to make you question their, like, overall business, I guess, in a lot of ways. So I totally resonate with that. I really cue having space online that is not business, but seems you don't get to have that if you don't want to use social to your advantage. It's very true. I know a few entrepreneurs that really do separate it, but you can't have two Facebook profiles. Been there, tried that, got my whole Facebook jacked up for quite a while. Don't do it. There's ways to know that you have a second page. I do have a personal Instagram page that is separate from my business, but it's still very on brand with my business. I don't share very much to it. Most of my family has come over to my business page. But I go by Amanda the Mompreneur, so it's still very much like, oh, she's a mom, she's a business person, this is what she does. I don't always have I don't share a lot on there all the time. I think the last post I did was October 6th for my son's birthday, but I have posted things. I try to use it as a reposting area. Sorry, my phone started going off like crazy. I had someone messaging that they couldn't find my live, still someone else. So I'm hoping that this isn't being buried somewhere. I'm not sure if people are not seeing this, but either way, I will definitely be sure to share the replay information. Oh, hi Debbie, I see you're watching. I had to open up it on my phone since again I'm screen sharing and not sure what's going on my comment side of things. I'd love to know where you're watching from. If you have any social media questions for me, drop them in the comments and I will be sure to get that covered for you. Basically, if you're just jumping in, I am just going over how to take these thought-provoking questions and really utilize them to your advantage. So yesterday I went ahead and posted this in about 20 groups. Some of the groups are still approving it. Some of them I haven't gotten any comments in yet. Some of them I've started getting comments and, oh, you got the good notification. That is amazing. I just think it's a little bit early for some of my audience. Me on the East Coast, I'm 3 hours ahead, or I have people who are 5, 10, 15 hours ahead of me. So sometimes I don't have the best for lives. But with that being said, I'm just going to kind of recap quickly. Yesterday, this was one of the ones I posted. I posted it in several groups. I went ahead and this person I didn't even know had commented back before jumping in here today, but basically has the struggle of feeling like they are posting to an empty auditorium, that they are talking and nobody is there. So it's definitely something that I can resonate with. I gave her a lot of great feedback. I'd love for you to be able to kind of jump back and watch that part of the replay since I really gave some really great insight. It's 10:14 a.m. here. So yes, this is what I mean. A lot of my audience is ahead of me or super behind me. I have people that are about 3 hours behind where it's super early there since it's 10 a.m. here. And it's just something when you work as a virtual person that time isn't really as relevant as it used to be, other than when it comes to being lives. It doesn't matter so much that I have a client that's 15 hours ahead, as long as we have a routine to connect at certain times of the day. We have something in place to make sure that everything's getting covered and everything else. So, and I want to apologize. I know we're having some crazy storms here. The wind has been insane. We're having flooding here in Maryland. It's been intense. So I'm hoping my Wi-Fi connection stays stable for you. I see on my phone it did say it got interrupted once. So I'm hoping that this isn't skipping out on you too much, but it is downpouring right now and the wind is hellacious. So bear with me. This has been such a learning experience doing this masterclass this week. I really, really appreciate everyone's support and encouragement during it. It has been super helpful to keep my momentum going. It's not been the easiest week with sick kids. I've been sick myself. So I really, really, really want to stress how much I appreciate it. Back to what we were doing though. So I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions, how I could help you. Let's take advantage of this time to have some live coaching. If you're here and you need some things answered, I am for it. Let's do it. So let's see here. Sorry. Basically, sorry about that. My wonderful boyfriend was calling, even though I had told him I was live. It's always something, isn't it? It's always something. And let's see here. So questions, anything that I've gone too fast over, maybe you want some more insight on. Let's see. So I was saying before I saw that people were actually on here with me, is that I didn't know she had responded. So she basically wanted to thank me for my feedback. It gave her some more perspective. She's kind of struggling a bit with having that privacy level. I get it. When you step into being an entrepreneur, your online space, your personal profile is like your storefront. Think about it like this. Let me give a little bit of a scenario. If you are walking down the street and you have some shops like on the strip that you're walking down, you glance over, you see one window, and you can see very clearly what the store is about. They've got whatever kind of style going on, and you're like, oh, this is a bit of me, I'm going in here. You keep walking as you come out, and you see a store that's kind of like really bare. It looks really empty. You're kind of questioning, is this open? Who is this? What do they do? You don't go in normally. That doesn't intrigue you more. You're kind of like, they're not ready for me. That's what your profile is kind of about. You don't have to necessarily have the cover photo that like says what's going on. It does help. It's a nice place to kind of showcase a little bit more about you on your personal page. When I was starting out, I was very strictly taught that you don't share your things that you're enjoying on Facebook. Like, you know how we all share the reels, we all share other videos, we share these recipes and everything else, and everyone was like, oh, stop. You don't need to share those kind of things anymore. Your clients aren't going to like that. They need to see business, business, business. And I was like, that is not me. Like, I started my business with a newborn. So me not posting personal stuff or sharing personal stuff was like, yeah, no, out the window. That's not happening. You don't think I'm going to put my baby on everything? Like, that's insane. So that was like a really weird time of like when we first started stepping into this virtual space. Oh, I saw a comment come up. Oh, here we go. I am getting comments. Goodness gracious. Sorry, guys. Oh, hi, Drew. Thanks for getting on here. Hi, Sonia. Debbie. Yes, link about how the Facebook likes groups. I will definitely send that to you. What else did we have here? I've just been talking away, forgetting that I don't have comments open. I have over 1,100 women in my group for codependency, but it seems lately that like 50 women see posts and lives lately. I do 7 a.m. lives every Wednesday, and I'm going to use that group to create workshops, but worry that hardly anyone sees the posts or the lives. This is where you need to clean up your group. You need to go through and kind of be like, who's active, who's inactive, who's here for this, put a post up, getting people in who are going to respond. If they don't comment, if they don't react, if they don't show up in your group on a regular basis, get them out of your group. They're bogging down your algorithm, and it's sending this like signal to Facebook that this group is not as active as it is. Now, I know it's scary. You've done all this work to get 1,100 people in your group. However, Facebook now sees only 50 people being active in your group, which means it's working against you having that many people. When you have less people and more engagement, it's kind of like quality over quantity. Like if you think about it like that, it's like, oh yeah, I have this huge cake and there's plenty for everybody, but nobody's eating it. Or I've got this little teeny pie and it's only enough for 4 of us, but we all want it. It's one, like, I hope that makes sense. That was like a really weird analogy to go with. But let's see. So what I would say is do a Facebook group cleanup. I also highly recommend doing like a Facebook friends list audit. It's something I actually offer as well. If you're interested, let me know. I can give you information. I go through and I run a series of different reports where I find out who's active, who's inactive, who are your top like contributors to your Facebook page. Now this is your personal page. It doesn't do it for your Facebook like business page, and you can't run it for inside the groups either that I know of yet. But what it does is you can take this inactive list and go, okay, I've got 300 people inactive that are sitting in my group as well. Like these are friends of mine from Facebook. They're sitting in my group, and you know what? If they're inactive on my personal page and now they're not one of my 50 people that I recognize showing up, I'm getting rid of them off my friends list. I'm getting rid of them off of my Facebook page or off of my Facebook group. So that's something that you definitely should look at, Debbie, is cleaning up that Facebook group. Now, you post every Wednesday in your group. Let me ask you this. What is your consistency on other days? How much more often are you posting? Is that your only day that you're posting? Because there's so much value, especially with the topic that you have about codependency, to be able to really add value on different days, get really engaging posts going on. We all like a laugh as well. So like, I know that I need to do it more often, is like put up like a meme or a post. I did it for a client not long ago, and it was like a word search kind of thing. And it was like, name the first 3 words you see, and those are like what you're working towards breaking through on your limiting beliefs. I can't remember what the whole topic was, but it was like, it ended up with so many comments because everybody wanted to see what words they saw first. It was super engaging and interactive. And it was one of those things that it really started helping pour into your engagement. It helps you start really seeing who's active in your group, who wants to stay in your group. So how many other days out of the week are you posting in your group? What other kind of post are you posting? Are you also engaging in other groups? Are you sharing your group on days that's self-promotional days? What are we doing with self-promotional posts in groups? Are you guys utilizing, do you know how to utilize that? What are your questions when it comes to that? Because that's another area as well to like think about. While I'm waiting for some of those questions to come back in, I know this is a little bit delayed, so especially since I'm watching it off my phone as well to see the comments. Also, make sure that you check the description of this. I've got the link for my 30 days of engaging call to action questions. And within that download, you will also see notes of like my tips, tricks, how to utilize this. If you have any questions regarding it, let me know. I am going to be sharing a like how to use this in case you're having trouble, because I know a couple people didn't understand how to like use it as a template for themselves. So I post every day about 3 times. So what you might be doing is burying your post too much. So in Facebook groups, you can post a lot, you really can, but it also can work against you because you can basically bury your post by putting a new post up too soon. I always try to wait no less than 3 hours between posts. Like I try my best. Now in an event, it's not as bad, but in a group itself, or on your page, it's really, really good to try and space your posts out. Definitely no less than 2 hours apart. Try to aim more for 3 to 4 hours apart so that your post is getting enough airtime, essentially. It's one of those things where I had a client recently where we had posts 7 days a week. It was great content, super valuable, and we're going, why is this not getting enough engagement? And it's because we were posting too often. We were posting too much information, and it was basically getting lost or overwhelming. You do 7 a.m., 1 p.m., and 9 p.m. So those time frames are really, really good. What I would suggest is maybe, I'm not sure how long you've been following that same routine, but switch it up. Change your timing. Change what times a day you're posting. Maybe on one of the days only post 1 post, and then on the following day do 2 posts. And then I think you said you do lives on Wednesdays, so I would say do your live that morning and only 1 post that afternoon. And then on like the following day, do 3 posts. Kind of switch it up a bit. Try and see what the algorithm is liking. Also, like, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, you can check your insights in the group to find out which days are going, like what day is your high day, what time is your, like, let's just look at this real quick actually, instead of just talking about it. Let's see, and I also had some other questions. So while we're waiting for this to load and work with us, we can see here, let's see, I go live on Wednesdays. Okay, so I think I covered yours there on some things that I would initially, right off the jump. So for you, Debbie, right off the jump, I would say let's look at like doing a friends list audit on your personal page, see who's inactive on your personal page, and then pinpoint out of the group who's not a contributing person, who is not a top contributor, who's not engaging with your group at all. Because if they're also not engaging on your personal page and they also aren't engaging in your group, then they're not your audience. They're not serving you. Yes. So yeah, I would definitely say like mix it up sometimes. Like sometimes it can be a lot of heavy information, especially like you talking codependency. Make fun with it as well. Like throw it in there because those posts will help. So if you're gonna stick to your 3 times a day, make sure one of those posts is like a light, fun post. I know a lot of times like affirmations or journal prompts are huge to like kind of it's nice to one have that kind of content because you're kind of feels good. It feels good to do that. But what I wanted to show you guys in here, actually, let me finish. Look, I got all excited. There was no one on here for the first like 10, 15 minutes. And now I'm getting great engagement on here that I can actually like work with and dive in and jump in here with you and help. So I have almost burned out with what I thought was a great social media plan, but it also wasn't that. So now I create a weekly 2-part email for my list that I post 2 posts Tuesday and Thursday, and I post to IG, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I have my son scheduling them, and that's about enough for me. I understand that I'm probably not optimizing. So, Sonia, are you kind of sharing any of these posts to your group, your story? Are you cross-posting these things into groups and stuff as well? Email is great. I'm just going to say it. It still is. I definitely didn't think I needed an email. I took advantage of my email being, like I had an email list and I never did anything with it. And the day that social media crashed was the day I sprung out into the emails. So emails really can be great, but it's hard to just create leads out of emails because you don't have like this overflow of just emails coming to you typically, unless you have a great lead magnet, which that's something also to think about if you are really doing leads. Lead magnets are great, or not leads. If you're doing emails, lead magnets are a huge way to support that. So have a great lead magnet. This is like the first lead magnet that I've ever done that's been like, whoo, through the roof. Like every day I'm thinking I get like 10 or some new subscribers this week since I've like launched it. I had like 50 social media suggestions in there before, and I think I had like 5 people sign up for it. So great lead magnet will definitely also help with that if you're looking to grow your email list. Let's see. So now I create a weekly 2-part. Yes. So I understand I'm not optimizing it. Sonia, I think with you, there's a lot of areas of social media, just from just having conversation with you as well, that is a little bit difficult for how you're approaching it. And I think I have some really good insight that I'll send you a message on as well. But I think that showing up in other ways, like I really, really think Reels will be a great way to showcase your personality and like convey your message in a way that is going to support what's trending right now. So sometimes we get so focused on that's not how I want to do it. I don't want to go live. I don't want to do a reel. I don't dance. I don't do this. I don't do that. That it really, we start thinking of all these things we don't do, and that's what it starts attracting. We start attracting like negative energy. We start attracting things that aren't serving us. So you really just need to kind of make sure that, you know what, this isn't working. Let me throw something else in there. I had a reel yesterday from 38 weeks ago hit over 5,000 views. I had over 5,000 reviews, and I'm like still like, what the heck? And it was 38 weeks ago. That was January. That's a whole pregnancy. And it's just now all of a sudden like lit up out of nowhere. So it's one of those things. Facebook now lets you do reels as well. I usually will purpose my reels. So I'll take my reel off of Instagram and save it, and I go and take it and put it into Facebook. I know some people have had issues of like how to get the same song and stuff. Download the app called Repost. Copy the link off your Instagram of the post that you want to repost, essentially, or save the video from, save that content off of. And what it does is when you open up the app Repost, it'll come in, and when you've copied the link, it shows you like in a list that's right there. When you click on it, you can go and click repost, and you can even repost it to your feed. Like if I wanted to share someone else's post that way, I can, and it'll tag them in it and everything. But what it's super helpful with is that it gives you everything that you typed up on Instagram, and it saves the video with the song to your phone. So then I take that and I go and post it into Facebook as well, and Facebook ends up recognizing what song it is and attaching it for me. if you'd like a training video on that, since this is a little bit off topic, let me know. I have a lot of workarounds on how to find your videos when you can't save them, or if you want to use something content-wise. There's just so much to do with it. So let me just see what else we have here. I have so many memes stored on my phone relating to relationships. I don't have many Facebook friends in my group. They're global clients or people related to relationships, narcissism, addiction, abuse. So for your group, since you're saying that a lot of them aren't like within your Facebook friends, this could also be a huge reason you're not getting the engagement in your group, is because you're not engaging with your audience on your personal page. Think of it like this, and I know I've said it a few times. Facebook, Instagram, social media as a whole was generated to let us build connections. So when you're building these connections, Facebook is not probably showing your posts in their feed. Like members of my group, for instance, this is my group. People in here will see my posts that I post in here on their personal feed because we're also Facebook friends and they're in my group. So it's a little bit easier to find. I also use this 193 people as where I'm going to start my engagement usually. I kind of mix my engagement up a bit. Like I kind of go from this group, I go into other groups. I do a lot of different, like, the way I go about it. But these are your people who are already looking to support you in some sort of way. So start nurturing them. Go to their personal page and see a post that you can resonate with and either add value back to, or add to the conversation, or have questions with. And take that and utilize this list of people in your group as your your outreach for that day. Go, you know what, I'm going to contact 10 people every day in my group, whether it's in a message, whether it's just to go on their page and see what's going on. I want to find their story and engage in their story that day, because this is how you're going to start showing up in their post or in their feeds more often. So that would be something I would also suggest, is to start friending some of the people that are in your group so that you can nurture that relationship better, because they're in your group because they're interested in what you're talking about. Therefore, they're going to support other areas of your business, hopefully. So I would definitely suggest going there and adding some of your friends, adding some of your audience from your group as your Facebook friend, as well as going through and making sure that the people that are in those same categories aren't competing with you, because we all know that we all join groups where we can go, these are where my clients are hiding, or my ideal clients. So you may have people sitting in there that are utilizing your group for not a serving or contributing kind of way. It's going to serve them and not you. So kind of go through and see what some of these people do for work. Kind of, gauge it that way. Do you have any questions that you have to qualify people as they come into the group? Because that's another great way. But I would highly suggest you probably have about 600 people to remove out of that group right now. And what that'll do is when you start removing those inactive people, remember what it's going to do is help the algorithm see that this group is a valuable group, and it's going to let that get seen more. So that's one thing I would start with it, as well as make sure that you are on a weekly basis taking time, like during your outreach and engagement, to find new people to invite to the group as well. So let's see. People come to my email from either my book lead magnet or my new funnel lead magnet. Well, that's great. That is great. Funnels is something that I'm learning currently. It's something that I do need to start implementing for myself as well. So I think that's great. Oh, and thank you for sharing your lead magnet. I will definitely look at that and let you know if there's anything that I have a personal feeling that could be better with it or anything, and I will let you know. But I'm sure it's great, especially since you're having such a great response in your emails. I did some reels when I was promoting my conversion event, and I actually got a reels course, so that's on my to-do list. I'm in a reels course as well. I can recommend you one. Her name is Brittany. She is a Instagram queen, knows everything about everything. She's who I always take, her word is gold to me. I just signed up for her reel class called Oh My Gram, and it's been huge. It really helps you. Reel Like a Boss. Oh My Gram is her full Instagram course that I'm going to be taking. But her Reel Like a Boss is so key. If you're having trouble with hashtags, finding viral songs, how to put stuff together, transitions, this is a course that's amazing. So if you would like that as well, let me know, and I will also share that information. Let's see. I know I need to do more about my codependency posting on my personal page, and I need to learn reels also in my IG. Gotcha. Yes, I do have questions. What questions do you have, my love? As far as reels go, it is definitely something that depending on how you have your reels set up on your Instagram, some of them can go into Facebook. Like mine says it allows it, but because it's my business page associated with it, I'm not even sure if that's like flowing into into my business page. But I again take those same reels and I repurpose them into Facebook because there's no point in me making a whole nother one for the same purpose, because my audience, who I connect with on Instagram, isn't always who I connect with on Facebook. Now, they are in the same, like, that is my dream client, like the people I'm connecting with typically, or my dream audience. Something that we also need to be aware of is our dream audience isn't always our dream client. You need to have an audience that's going to be there to support you, and they like what you're about. They like what they see when they connect with you. They are about what you're posting. They need that value from you, but they may not be the person that you want to work with. They may not be someone that you're going to be able to benefit that way. My IG is connected to my Facebook personal. So yours will probably let you share your reel directly from Instagram to Facebook itself. You'll see at the bottom of your Instagram. Do you have your Instagram set up as a creator or an entrepreneur account, as a business account? Because that is also, we're getting into some layers. This is where I have issues of like my, like where does it stop? Because there's just so many layers to social media. Something that I will say is if you don't feel like you have the full music library on Instagram, you need to change your category for your business to just entrepreneur. I had myself listed, I think it's like graphic design or consultant or something at one point, and I did not have any music except for like instrumentals and some really weird stuff that like I couldn't search anything. I had to get super creative on how I was getting music on there and stuff like that. So if you're having issues with that, there is a way to fix it. Let me know if you need help with that. So let's see, what else have I missed in here? Let's see. So I will share, there's two accounts that I really liked how they explain reels. Maybe I can get it open on here actually. One is Brittany Batila, I think is how her last name is pronounced. And I don't know if I remember the other girl's name, as bad as that sounds, but and this is where branding comes in actually, is I can't remember her name, but I can tell you that she has a certain color she wears in every one of her reels. So let's see here. Oh, here's Brittany right here. Perfect timing. Let me go in here, and I guarantee you this is some value of something that's going on. Let's see. Can I see any of her? Oh, let's see. How do I go back? I've never used Instagram from the computer, really. Okay. This is what I mean.
Your account will never receive it. It's just how it is.
She went and did some great updates yesterday.
I'm going to walk you through how to use it. Breaking Instagram news,
And so
I'm going to walk you through how to use it, and then after that I'm going to give you some good and bad news.
I'm going to let this play for a second because this is super,
Go to where all your
super
stickers
helpful.
are, tap the link sticker, and then you'll type in your URL. I always recommend tapping See Preview, and then it will show you the page that you're linking to. X out of that, and this is what it will look like on your stories. Good is Instagram's projected to release this to every account. Projected. If you do not have it yet, it may take time to come to your account, just like with any update. The only things you could do is maybe delete your app, reinstall, make sure you save your real drafts, or I found that if anything is happening or you are waiting for an update, just restarting your phone will work. Bad news time. So, just like with every feature, not all accounts are going to receive it. We hope that this feature will go to every other feature. It is possible that your account will never receive it. It's just how it is. Instagram sometimes holds out on, they hold out to see how accounts will fare without that particular feature. I project that they're also going to be doing this with the link sticker. So just know that yes, it may take time for you to get it, and it is also possible you may never get it. I wanted to be the bearer of bad news right away.
So she's super resourceful. She shares a lot of stuff. So I would highly, highly recommend following her. Even if you don't do her programs, she has so much insight. And I wish I remembered the other girl's name. So what I'll do is I'll find the other one and I'll share it in the comments once we finish this up. But let me see what we have here. So I'm going to grab my phone and see what we have going on here. Your Facebook is connected to your Instagram is connected to your Facebook personal. You had it set up as a business. So one thing I cannot stress more to you is that you need to have an Instagram business account and set your category to entrepreneur if you want to ever have certain features. From my personal account, I don't have a swipe up feature. Now I know like the swipe in there now. I don't have the link sticker yet, but I do have, like, I can swipe up to videos still. Since we're talking Instagram, IGTV is no longer a thing anymore. You can post up to 60 minutes of video right into your feed now. Now, with that, you can still save them into, like, series. And so, a lot of times what I've been doing this week is, like, I have tea to spill kind of thing. So, all my stories, I've been linking to that, where I have content about my masterclass that's been going on. So but if I were to try that for my personal page, I can't swipe up anything. So there is a lot of features that you will need to have that I cannot stress to you to have your business be more, I don't know what word I want to say, but to be more business first on Instagram, you need to have it set up as a business account. Like setting it up as a personal account is going to hinder you from some of the features that it will allow. It's how Instagram works. Facebook owns or Meta, I guess, owns everything, and it piggybacks off each other a bit. So there's definitely that. I did have it as a business. I just need to talk about Coda stuff on my personal page and do my reels there. Let's see. So Instagram, what I've learned recently is it likes to have 2 pieces of content every day separate from your stories. So that can be going live on Instagram. That can be doing a reel on Instagram, doing a post, doing carousels. You can really utilize different options when it comes to Instagram. But try to have 2 posts a day. I'm still working on this. I was doing like every day, and then I had my second baby, and I haven't gotten back to that. But what I have been doing is more videos and more reels. So, yes, Brittany Batila, and it's just at Brittany. Here, I'll even comment it real quick. She is someone I highly suggest. Following her has been a total game changer in everything that I've been able to understand when it comes to Instagram. And she is just super, super helpful. Oh, I think that actually tagged her. So her name on Instagram is pretty much just the same. Like, she doesn't have a special, like, I'm at yours virtually Amanda. Or, yeah, at yours virtually Amanda is me on Instagram. So that is her Instagram. I just dropped it in the comments there. Let's see. It's got to go. Oh, I'm so glad you joined me, Sonia. I will make sure to get you over some information. If you don't hear from me by your morning, then send me a message so that I can make sure I get that over to you. You know, mom brain sometimes might have me a bit delayed. But something I just wanted to show you guys, since we were talking groups real quick. Let me just get back into this before I wrap this up for this morning. I will be announcing, before everyone goes, today there will be an announcement of who's going to win a one-on-one coaching session with me, where I dive into your account a bit more, look at what's going on, find what areas you have some gaps in, and kind of really give you some insight on what strategy to start implementing to really optimize your social platforms. So make sure that you go back and participate in all the posts within this event so that you can get all the points that you can. Invite anybody. The replays will be available. I'm going to make sure that this is all downloaded in able to use on both areas. So let's see here. I wanted to go over group insights, Debbie, if you're still here, because you were talking about just not having like the activeness and stuff like that in there. So this is something you definitely want to make sure that you look at. I always like to look at engagement first, because growth is beautiful, but let's see who's engaging and where they are. And Debbie, do you have questions that you have, like group member questions for when they're looking to join your group to help qualify them and stuff like that? Because that's something definitely that's super helpful also for engagement purposes. So I have neglected my group. I will just let you know I have completely neglected my group recently. I'm trying to get back to it. I just had too much going on. Had taken on too many clients that weren't aligning with me for a moment, so I had to kind of work through that a bit, and I'm coming back now. As you can see, I've jumped back in. So right here, 79 active members. This shows that like a majority of my group is engaging, is active. Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't think it tells you who the active members are. That just makes it too easy for us, doesn't it? But it is, you can kind of go off of it by seeing who your top contributors are. So Thursdays was a high day for me. That's a popular day out of all the days that I've posted in there. But because it's been so long, I haven't, like, this isn't as great of information because it's consistency. But basically, Thursday at 3 p.m. was a high. 4 p.m. was super low. Fridays isn't too bad, but it'll come in here and show you if the times that you're posting are times that you should be. Like, clearly Thursdays are a great day for me, and Saturdays, well, Saturdays wasn't too much. It kind of made it look like it was a lot more. But Thursday, like this day, that means I need to be posting at 3 p.m. on Thursday every week. Like, that's probably a prime time for me to be live, which 3 p.m. is not my prime, like my favorite time to go live, because my kids are definitely both up at that time. But basically, this is something that you need to be utilizing to see what's going on in your groups. And if you see that you only have 79 active members, then what I would do is, and now I'm going to go, you can even go back further and do all of this. You can download it. Let's look at growth really quickly as well before I wrap this up. Oh, perfect, Sonia. Make sure when you get a chance that you tag her in my first post of the event. And then when she joins as well, you can get like extra points towards your coaching session. So you do have questions. Debbie, I'd love to see what these questions are, because sometimes the questions are too surface level and it ends up allowing too many of the wrong kind of Facebook accounts into our groups. So, for instance, like, I have people who are like competing with me in my group. I know. Like, not compete. Okay, hold on. Don't like how I said that at all. Not competing with me, but we're in the same niche. We have similar audiences and stuff like that. And sometimes, yes, it feels like competition, but there is plenty of business for everybody, and not everybody is for everybody. So don't feel like if you have some people that are like in your same specific audience or same specific niche, like doing anything wrong, but you do need to be careful in your group, because that's where you're supposed to be nurturing. So I'd love to hear from you on what some of those questions are. If you're not able to send them now, or if you want to kind of send them more personally, that's perfectly okay. But I'd love to help you work through this a bit more as well. So right here, I don't really have the issues with having to block anybody and decline, but it does help. And then let's see, membership. This is where you'll see who your top contributors are, who really support you, and I even like to highlight them typically. I don't know why this isn't giving me any information. Something's not working, because this will normally tell me, like, I have a very huge UK following, even though I'm over in the States. So typically I see that in this area as well, but for some reason it's not showing up on here. So do we have any more questions as far as groups? Again, try to really utilize that first 30 minutes of when you post, of trying to encourage getting 10 or more comments. Now, that can be 5 people have commented your post and you've commented to those posts those 5 people back. So that's 10 people. This is going to make your post trend, and it's going to help it be found in keyword searches as well. Definitely need to start posting on your personal page more as well. If you're not already, you need to have a cover photo that you don't need to, but it is good to have a cover photo that helps support it. Like, let me show you my just regular page right now, which I don't always have a cover photo that is business related, but it does help because it's also a nice place to just tuck in a little bit more information. Here we go. So, how to design your high vibe social media blueprint to magnetize your dream clients is what you're attending right now. They're very precise pertaining to relationships, shame, attracting the wrong people in our lives. Now, do you take the responses from those questions that, like when they first join, are you utilizing those answers as a way to connect further with them in their messages? Because this is something that I'd be like, oh, I see that you really struggled with XYZ. I've got a great post that I'd love you to see. Is it okay if I tag you in it, or can I send it to you? This would be great time to utilize their responses to your advantage. They're opening up with you. They're getting deep with you. They're sharing something vulnerable with you. Go ahead and read into that. Go ahead and take that and get into their messages. Think of some thought-provoking questions that really can help lead your conversation to your end result that you're looking to achieve. Are you looking to get them into a membership program? Are you looking to have them in a coaching program? What is your product that could benefit or enhance them a bit when it comes to where they're currently at? So let's see here. So when I have this one here right now, when you click it, now some people think that you can actually like click it and it takes you somewhere. It does not. You can click it, and here is got my, oh my gosh, I'm hosting my first ever masterclass. This is for any entrepreneur that's looking to take a more authentic approach to their social media strategies. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the link to this. Guess where it takes you? Right here. So this is where I like to use cover photos a little bit. I know some people are like, oh, I'm so overseeing these businessy cover photos. I don't put myself in the cover photo anymore like that. I know we all used to do it. With it putting my photo right dead center of the cover photo, I don't need to have a picture of myself in it as well. But that's just personal choice. So why is this taking so long? So this takes you to the Facebook group or to the Facebook event itself. But I think because I'm having it's just taking a little bit longer because I'm live. And because we're live, everything wants to go wrong. So something else just while we are, oh no, now we've jumped around too far. Something else I wanted to just go over a little bit, since on day one we started with talking about our I help statements and how to take your I help statement or your bio and find your keywords to identify and connect you with your ideal clients. So I help you create and project your unique vibes on socials. That's what I do. That's not going to resonate with everyone, and that is the point, because I don't want everyone. I want a very specific audience. So getting really specific in your statement will help you a lot. I'm also, I go with an intuitive social media designing approach and organic strategy coaching. So I come at what I offer from a very deep place. So how I approach certain things is completely different. Even yesterday, I had where I should have had it open already, but let me just go ahead and start opening. I think I mentioned in here, I have a calendar that I've created for helping my like day-to-day engagement and like where I can post self-promotional style stuff without having to worry about, can I post this with this in there today? Can I do this in that group today? I've made a very, very unique calendar that is a work in progress still. However, it's super resourceful. So what I did was I had a bunch of groups in like a Google Doc format. And what I did was created a landing page where I took all of those groups and hyperlinked them with the link to the groups, so that every day I get a calendar notification with what groups I can self-promote in that day. And so I'm just going to show you that really quickly. And then I will be wrapping this up, but please, if you have questions, if there's something you'd really like to dig a little bit deeper on, if I didn't express something enough for you, please let me know so that I can make sure that I get you some value on those areas. Something else that is really important to have in place to make sure that we're optimizing ourselves just in general with our business is having qualifying questions before you get on those first calls. I have where when you try to schedule an appointment or a session with me, it's going to automatically send you a link that is going to be for you to fill out this questionnaire that I require before our session takes place. And what it does is it really helps me like navigate how I'm going to approach it. So let's just see, just bear with me. I'll show you guys this and then we will wrap it up. And if you need anything else from me, please don't hesitate. I'd love to hear from you. So today's Friday's group, basically I can come in here, I can click this and it takes me to the group. So this is a great resource to have to, one, grow which groups you're in. Also, it's a great place to go, you know what, okay, I'm going to pick 10 groups and I'm going to either post, engage, or like do a self-promotional thing in these groups every day of the week. And so, look, it brings you right here. I could essentially just go here. It cuts that time down. So, every day has about 20 or more groups on it. If this is something you would like to have a copy of, let me know. It looks like we're lagging a bit here. Okay, yeah. So, there's a lot of great groups in here. There are some groups that are no longer groups or that aren't accurate to being self-promotional anymore. And I do need to go through here and like update that, fix that area. But otherwise, it is like a super, super helpful resource to have. So like, for instance, this group's on here for Fridays. Some days you might see the same groups on every day because they allow self-promotion every single day. Other times there's groups that they only allow self-promotion on a specific day. This group is Fridays only or self-promotion. So I'm sure today there will be some posts coming in this group where that's happening. So it's just a really good way to use this as a resource for tackling that day's outreach and engagement. It really helps cut down the time on where do I post, where can I self-promote today, where can I do this at. And it's just super helpful. So this is something that I will also share free with you guys. If you would like a copy of, or if you would like to be added to this calendar, please make sure you drop your comment or drop your email in the comments, and I will add that for you. It's just a super helpful resource that I was trying to give out. Before I wrap this up, is there anything else that I can cover a little bit more? While I'm wrapping it up, these are my qualifying questions before you get on a call with me. I want to know about your business as if I was your ideal client. I need to fix this because I saw yesterday that I have two of the same questions. For your business, what is your purpose of being on social media? What are your biggest barriers on social media? Who is your target audience? Can you describe them? What is your main message your brand is trying to communicate? What tone do you feel like your social media should have? Should it be empowering? Should it be energetic? Should it be motivational, mysterious, mindset? Where are we at with it? Sometimes when I'm like really trying to like get more specific about my audience and stuff like that, I'll even go in here and answer these questions myself a bit more. What makes your brand different than others? What makes your clients choose you over competitors? What resources do you have for content creation? This just really helps me get down to the nitty gritty before we even get on the call, because this lets me know, okay, this person has no idea about this aspect of business. Oh, perfect. I will make sure to add you to that. I'm so glad that you would like a copy of that. Please let me know if you come across not allow self-promotion anymore so that I can get this updated. It's something that is going to be updated before the end of the year. It's going to have some new groups added to it. It's going to have some groups removed from it. But basically, when you accept the invite to this calendar, it'll add to your calendar and it'll send you a daily notification. You'll see it in your calendar. I can access it from my phone. Like I have an iPhone, for instance, and if I click on today, I don't know if we'll be able to see this. This is always such a tricky You can see it right in my calendar, so I can even click it from my phone. This is what it'll look like. It'll have this little bit of information. Click that link, and it opens up into the same link that we were just looking at. So it's super, super resourceful. It's helped me cut down on how much time it takes to do outreach, how much time it takes to do engagement. So let's see here. I've covered so much today. I really appreciate everyone that's been involved in the live. If you're catching the replay, please comment #replay. We do have a special guest coming live to us today in here. Her name is Kate Benner. She is a inner critic coach, and she's going to be talking about how to embrace your inner critic, and it's just going to be super powerful. I'm so excited. She also has this amazing podcast called The Monday Motivator. I highly recommend it. It's definitely something that I would suggest everyone listen to on Mondays. It really helps set the tone for my weeks. So before I sign off, is there any other questions that I could help you with specifically? Debbie, I'm pretty sure you're the only one watching right now, but if you have anything specific that you'd like me to cover before I go, just let me know. I'm going to give it a few minutes because I know that it's lagging. I have really, really enjoyed doing this masterclass this week. It is not going to be my last. I will let you guys know that I have availability for coaching sessions. I will include the link to schedule with me and to this event itself. I have one-on-one sessions, and I'm coming up with a group offer as well, because sometimes this information can be good for a group setting. It's not super personal where you have to feel like you need to open up in front of a bunch of people that you're not comfortable with. But if you would like to have some coaching done with me, if you would like to have gotta run, me too. The baby's gonna be up from a nap anytime. But if you have any other questions, if anything else comes up for you, please let me know. I've really, really enjoyed this. Stay tuned. Some other stuff will be in the group. I will make sure to get everyone links. If you don't have the links that you're expecting from me by morning, please send me a message or comment so that I can make sure to come in here and do that. So I've really, really enjoyed everyone. Have a wonderful day. Happy Friday. I hope you can take some of this information and really set yourself up next week for some really impactful engagement and outreach from a very organic and authentic place. I have so much love for everyone that's been here. I don't go live ever. This is something that I'm really pushing myself to do more of. So I just want to say how much I appreciate you, and I really, really can't say it enough. So stay tuned. Kate Benner will be live shortly.